Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can tell by the title of today's video, what we're going over is the top 10 most underrated badges in NBA 2K20. Now, these are just my opinions, but what I want y'all to do is share your opinion real quick and tell me what your #1 most underrated badge is in the game. Just give it a little bit of thought, you don't gotta do too much, but anyway. What I'm gonna do is, it's a little different from what I usually do with my top 10 videos. Normally I'll just kind of reveal them as we go, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just show you guys all the badges that we're working with here that I decided were in the top 10, and then I'll like kind of reveal the order as we go. So anyway, we got Slithery Finisher and Acrobat for the 2 finishing. We got 3 shooting, and it's Clutch Shooter, Difficult Shots, and Slippery Off Ball. 2 playmaking, Downhill and Flashy Passer, and then 3 defense, Chase Down Artist, Pogo Stick, and Tireless Defender. So anyway, we'll get right into this. For #1, I'm going to stick in the defense category and go Pogo Stick. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and show the description and kind of read it out loud before we get into my opinions on it. So, Pogo Stick allows players to quickly go back up for another block attempt upon landing. So, essentially what this is, y'all know, if you ever played basketball in like high school, or I guess if you're in college or anything, or elementary, bro, if you have ever... If you ever had the drill where the coaches have you like, jump up and like touch the line on the wall, bro, and just keep on doing it, that's what this badge literally does. Now, in order to do it, you have to have the vertical contest where, and it's not something you unlock, it's just you unlock it by listening to me. So anyway, vertical contest, you hold the left stick toward the hoop, or in other words, away from the defender, and then just tap Y. So this will allow you to just keep going back up. If you're not doing that, you're gonna go flying around all over the place, and it's not gonna be good. I just promise you that will improve what you have to do with it. Now, the purpose of this badge, it's gonna be good for undersized bigs, regular size bigs, guards if you're like at a disadvantage, and obviously hands up defense as a guard against a big man. That ain't ever gonna work. So what you gotta do, you gotta jump. But if he's pump faking and you jump, then you're already done. You're already done for. But what Pogo Stick allows you to do is just bite on every single pump fake that you need to, and you're good from there. So anyway, that's #1 on the list. #2, we got Chase Down Artist. I'm gonna stick in the defense category. So why do I have this #2? Again, it's sort of the same thing, where it's more so for like undersized bigs to really just extend what you can do in the defense category. Now, what I say with this is, if you're a backside defender, let's say even if you're like a tall rim protector, you feel like you're way too slow to give up any, you can't help at all on picks, is what I'm saying. Like, let's say you're a 7'3" pure rim, or 7'3" pure glass, whatever you want to call it. And you're on the backside of these picks, you can't give up any ground because you know you're going to get beat at the dunk. This is what this badge is good for. You can help out on the perimeter a little bit while still knowing you can like recover to the paint. Now, obviously what it says, boost the speed and leaping ability of a player when he is chasing down an offensive player in anticipation of a block attempt. Now, obviously what that means is literally what I was just talking about, where you can give up a lot more ground because you can recover a lot faster and get higher on the blocks. Now, this is also good for guards to have. Even if it's only on gold, you can have it on like silver, bronze. Even bronze makes a huge impact. If you can put this on your point guard who has, like, let's say you went 6'5", 6'4", maybe you hopefully upgraded block rating, you probably have solid vertical but nothing crazy. Let me just say, this will make it so when you go against those teams who have the pick and pop lineups where your big man gets fished out to the 3-point line too far, and now you have no big man to help out on the drives, and now you're just stuck with like trying to block the shot, and you clearly can't do anything about it because you're too slow, you can't jump, yada yada, all that stuff. This badge will help you as well. Now, like I said, this will even help off the corners as well. You can get chase down blocks from the corner. You don't have to be behind them, you just have to be sprinting, and like, I would recommend to hold Y too when you go for these blocks. Just a little key tip. But anyway, #3, we have Flashy Passer. I don't know if you guys have seen the impact that this badge actually makes, but essentially, I'll just break down, condense what it says here. The passer and the scorer get a boost to their takeover meter once you complete a flashy pass. Now, the scorer gets insane boost to their takeover meter. Now, this also pertains to what you do with your takeover. Like, for instance, a slasher needs to dunk. Obviously, a shooter needs to shoot. If a slasher shoots, he's not going to get quite as much, but if a shooter dunks, then he's not going to get quite as much. But let me just say, shooters, if you have sharp takeover, literally takes, with this badge on Hall of Fame, literally takes 2 shots to get takeover activated. And for a slasher, it literally takes 2 shots, or 2 dunks to get takeover activated. You can do 4 for team takeover, and that's insane too, especially if the bigger of court you get, like if it's 3s or 5v5 pro-am, that stuff gets insane, bro. But anyway, moving along, we got number 4, Slithery Finisher. This badge has changed the way I play as a slasher nonetheless. Like, I don't know if I can give a great description of why. I just know as soon as I put this thing on, and I've never looked back since I put it on. Initially, and maybe I'm gassing it because of maybe some phantom patch that happened or something like that, but obviously they don't give notes or anything of what these patches do. But anyway, as soon as I put this badge on, completely changed the way I played as a slasher. I could actually dunk on people, bro. Like, it's insane. Now, a lot of people were questioning that when I made the video, and they were like, bro, doesn't this mean like you avoid contact? That's what I thought at the beginning too. I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna touch this thing because I'm trying to get bodies. I'm not trying to avoid contact. I'm welcoming the contact. That's not how it works, bro. I swear, this badge literally just helps you dunk on people and like at a much higher rate. Or I think what it does too is maybe doesn't go for like the contact dunk when the game's supposed to make you miss. I don't know, just some voodoo stuff that I believe in, I guess. I don't know. I'm a big advocate of Slithery Finisher. I believe in it 100%. But anyway, moving along, number 5, Clutch Shooter. And I know that was kind of a vague description of Slithery Finisher, but that's because it's a vague badge. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do, but I know it definitely makes my dude dunk better. And I'm a 6'9" slasher essentially, and I've been going crazy ever since. But anyway, number 5, Clutch Shooter. Now, this badge, this breakdown of my list is built on how underrated is the badge. It's not built on how good is the badge. Now, I gotta say, this badge is pretty good, but it's only in certain situations, so that's why it gets lowered a little bit. But when I say this list is built on how underrated the badge actually is, I want to emphasize that. Like, Clutch Shooter is an underrated badge. I made it as one of, this made the video of my top 10 most broken badges that still don't work. But bro, that is not the case. I didn't realize how, because I was reading the description of this and I was like, oh, final moments of the 4th quarter or any overtime period receive a large boost. I was like, bro, that don't even work in the park then. But no, I was sadly mistaken, and I appreciate everybody who opened my eyes to this badge and made me realize it and gave the good feedback. Now, what this does, in the park, it activates after 10 points, or it won't activate if you're up by more than 8, I believe. So if it's 10-2, or like 10-4, then it's, oh wait, no, my bad. If it's 10-0, it's not gonna activate when you reach 10 points. But when you reach 10 points, if it's like 10-8, from this point forward, it completely activates for every shot you take. And it's so insane, bro. Like, now, one thing I will say about this badge, I think if you are a like spot up shooter or anything of that nature, I would 100% put this badge on, and maybe even if you're a point guard too and you have enough to give. Now, I've noticed when building a play sharp, or like, you know, the playmaking sharpshooter pie chart where you end up with like 22 shooting or so, it's hard to fit this in because I know how it is, y'all. You have stuff like, here, like, let me build it for you. You have stuff like Hot Zone Hunter, you got Range Extender, you got Quick Draw, you got Green Machine, you got all stuff like that. And then when you try to find things that you want to put on, you're like, maybe I could do a little bit of tireless shooter, a little bit of volume shooter. Obviously you're working with like Hall of Fame Deadeye as well. But let me tell you, that badge, bro, Clutch Shooter can be so slept on. So slept on. Now, anyway, here, I gotta put this back on. Where did we have this? Oh yeah, difficult shots. Let me just wrap this up. So Clutch Shooter, essentially, like I said, what it does, improves your shooting ratings, and you can see it says large boost. There's not a single badge on this thing that will ever say large boost except for this badge right here. And I've seen so many pure sharps rocking this, and I feel like a lot of people are asleep on this when it comes to the budget you have to ball on, but I gotta say, it will change your game. You gotta try it if you're a shooter. But anyway, moving on to number 6, we have Acrobat. What I initially thought of this badge, I was like, well, why would you put this on? Why would you not just have fancy footwork? You're gonna want to get dunks. You don't want layups. Well, here's the point. When you do the fancy footwork hop dunks and you don't get a dunk, this badge like severely helps you make it. Now, I actually said, bro, you remember when I was talking about Clutch Shooter and I said you'll never see anything say a large boost? Well, I guess this says significant boost. So anyway, I was tweaking on that as well. But anyway, obviously it pertains to a whole lot of things as well. You got the spin, half spin, hop step, euro step, cradle, reverse. I don't even know what the heck a cradle is. How do you activate it? But anyway, long story, and the change shot layup attempts or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, this badge helps you make layups a lot better. And obviously, not always are you trying to do a layup, but this definitely helps a lot when you accidentally do a layup too. And then you combine that with like consistent finisher, which I don't consider to be an underrated badge, but you combine it with this and you're looking good. There's really nothing else to it. Anyway, number 7, we got our last defensive badge, is tireless defender. Now, this badge, bro, y'all need to put some respect on this badge name. Now, what I would really advocate for this badge to be put on is the non-defensive, like, play sharp guards who have like probably 9-8 defense. Listen, bro, get rid of pickpocket. I don't think you're ever going to be able to play like true steal defense with that kind of a build. Your steal rating is just too low, bro. But anyway, what I would advocate for, and here I can change these because now we're done with this. Go clamps, obviously you need that. And then I feel like pick dodger is pretty important as well. Now, then it comes down to, do I put on pickpocket or tireless defender? Now, this right here will make it so you can like stick through these screens a whole lot better. Now, this is more of a conservative badge, I would say, I guess. Now, if you want to be real, like, you know, give up easy everything, like just go for steals and hope that's the way you can impact the game, I suppose, but this is for the disciplined defenders who think they can hold their own. Now, what you even could do is something like this, where maybe you go a little less on that, or even boom, rock something like this, or go something like this. Anyway, long story short, I want to explain tireless defender, what it does. It says allows the defenders to play defense more aggressively without losing energy at the same rate as a normal player. Long story short, you can sprint more on defense, and you can just lose less energy running through screens, all that stuff too. Bro, this badge is mad slept on, and also as a backside defender too, it's pretty important. I wouldn't advocate for this too much as like a corner offensive player, or like, you know, corner defense. Actually, no, my bad. I forgot not everybody plays like that, but I wouldn't really advocate for this if you're like gonna guard the corner for the most part, or don't plan to guard the ball, because it's not really that important a badge if you're not running through screens or on the backside of screens. But tireless defender, mad slept on. Difficult shots, I feel like this is number 8, by the way, but I feel like this badge isn't like completely underrated. I just think a lot of people gave up on this just because of how off dribbles got kind of nerfed a little bit but it's like, I mean, it was the meta at one point, and this badge was like the number 1 thing that you needed. But obviously, like as you can see, high difficulty jumpers such as hop steps, spins, and pull-ups, and then step backs receive a shot percentage boost. Obviously, Tyson will be rocking this, and I don't know, I guess it depends the way you play, but I just feel like the fadeaway midi has been kind of taken away, and I don't see why. I just feel like a lot of people kind of are, maybe they're just too afraid of trying to learn how to time their off dribbles as well as their jumpers. But anyway, long story short, I feel like difficult shots be getting slept on, and I think people should put a little bit more respect back on this thing's name. Now, I think what it really falls victim to is the fact that, like I said with Clutch Shooter, a lot of these play sharps are just running out of badges they feel like they can put on. As soon as you find out about Hot Zone Hunter and Green Machine, boom, that's like 8 more that you need to put on. If you believe in Clutch Shooter more than difficult shots, boom, that's like 12 more. Now you still need range extender, quick draw, deadeye. I mean, it just gets tough to have all these shooting badges, but I feel like people still be sleeping on this difficult shots, man. But anyway, number 9, we got slippery off ball. Now, this is not for shooters. Now, I will say though, bro, I seen pure sharps dexing around off ball screens and stuff like that, bro. This thing goes crazy. And as you can see, when attempting to get open off screens, the player moves effectively, navigates through traffic more. Now, listen, I'm gonna say this. I use this on my slasher. This is the one badge that I activate, and it pops up on a lot of rolls, a lot of off-ball, like, you know, kind of when your player twists a little bit, or like I said, the pick and rolls it activates as well. Now, this is why I have this badge as underrated, is because every single player can be benefited by this. I'm talking you bigs that get this one shooting badge and don't really have any three-pointer or any ability to hit. Bro, you got to put this on. It's so great to have. And then it just makes your slips faster, makes your rolls faster. I love this badge as a finisher. And then, like I said, I've seen pure sharps out here going crazy with this thing on. And like I said, it's just hard to like budget the badges. That's what the case is for all of these. But that's why I say as a finisher too, this is a clutch badge to put in your repertoire. Now, number 10, we got downhill. I don't think this is a very like insane badge, but I will say people be sleeping on this as terms of like the effect that it can have on a game. Now, the reason it's so low on this list, in 2v2, completely obsolete. It doesn't matter at all. This is a completely irrelevant badge. Obviously, I take it off 100% when playing with twos, no matter what build you are, but gives a bonus to the player's speed with the ball attribute in fast break situations. Now, I'll just put it like this. If you're a finisher like running the break, this will let you just get ahead of people so easily. Guards as well. It's simple as that. But anyway, I don't want to give too much, you know, point to this. I feel like downhill at number 10, it's not the most massive difference, and that's why I save this for the last. Obviously, when it gets lower in the list, you're running out of a few things to highlight. But anyway, honorable mentions. I'm gonna give hot start an honorable mention because it is pretty insane if you just don't miss shots. But as soon as you miss one shot, the badge is completely gone from your repertoire, and it's just a wasted 4 badges at that point. But if you don't miss, bro, I tell you what, these ratings be going up quite a bit. But anyway, and then very last, I have not having fancy footwork. For anybody that has followed my channel, you know I'm a big hater of fancy footwork. I don't think it really works all that well, so that's my honorable mention. This is one of the most underrated badges to have it completely blank like this, because a lot of people be rocking it on like Hall of Fame if they can, and I just don't think it helps all that much. But anyway, you can go ahead and watch that video as far as like fancy footwork is the most overrated badge if you disagree. Now, if you disagree, like I said, you can feel free to drop any comments, feel free to give any feedback, let me know what you think, and then like I said in the beginning of the video, feel free to drop your most underrated badge at number 1 in the comments as well. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, put badge in the comments just to let me know if you made it all the way to the end. Now, you can still put your favorite comment or your favorite badge in the comments as well, but just let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I need to see who all my real ones are. But anyway, other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, all that good stuff. Turn on them noties. And then, like I said, feel free to drop the comment too. Always helps the algorithm and all that, yada yada, you know the deal. But anyway, other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.